What is up, crew member? Welcome back to yet another live stream. This is week 46 consecutive of the Camera Junkie live stream. Welcome back. And if you're new here, want to be part of the Camera Junkie crew, make sure that you make yourself known in the chat so that we can give you the warm welcome. No lurkers here at the Club Camera Junkie. And as always, I like to remind you, Mr. Camera Junkie, where we tell you to upgrade your skills before your gear. And that's what we do here. We're constantly trying to better ourselves, even if it's just a little bit incrementally, like that 1% at a time. And one of these 1% things that I was able to implement and kind of upgrade right now, that is part of the stream for the first time officially, is the pod mic. And I would like to thank Sammy Superstar for being so generous. I had the pleasure of meeting Sammy at the People of Video conference, and this dude was something else. His backpack had everything: tripods, cables, XLR, like mixers. He had it all, and the fact that he brought that from New Jersey really goes to show you the efforts that Sammy took to meet everyone at the conference. So big ups to Sammy. That was it was super inspiring to be able to meet Sammy. And Sammy also gifted me this microphone, pulling it out of that said bag, and I was able to use it and now use it as part of the live stream to that 1% better, incrementally increase and upgrading my skills. But now this is when I say before the gear, and I had been using a condenser microphone, and I think I'm like I can see the difference between the dynamic and the condenser. I really like the sound that's coming out of this microphone, but you guys let me know how it sounds to you as well. But that's, getting things started off. We are talking about People of Video conference and the journey that I took to get there and back. But before I get into that, let's see who's here in chat. Okay, and first of all, we had Mr. Paul Duncan. How are you doing, sir? Okay, I think that's just a little big. Let me just adjust that to unbiggen that. Like Doc says, always unbiggen. We have to unbiggen sometimes, Okay, so we've unbiggened that, and let's close that up. So how are you doing, sir? And Paul is now part of the moderator crew. Paul was also part of the moderator crew from the Leap into live stream. So it's been since then that I've been trying to implement, all of the, moderators here on my channel. So slowly, and I was able to do that today. So thank you, Paul, for everything that you do. He says now, because he has a wrench, he has to behave. Just a little bit. Keep the peace. COVID the technician says, peace to the stream. How are you doing, sir? Welcome. And Andre's in the house saying almost at 1K subs. Yes, our crew is expanding, and we're getting almost to that, 1,000 subscriber mark, or like I like to say, crew member mark. I'm really excited. I'm always upfront with everyone. I can't wait to get that decimal point, that says like 1.1 or something like that, because it's only a milestone that shows like the distance that we've come, and another one that also shows that is 46, being the 46th consecutive week that we have the Camera Junkie live stream. And you're probably listening to Aiden as always, because Aiden is here with me and he's doing his thing. So if you hear him in the background, just so that you know what's going on, he is the boss of things and he's just running the show right now. One of our crew members was so gracious enough to gift him something in this past week, and Sly, just so you know, he absolutely loves it. You might hear it in the stream because he uses it constantly. So whoa. Okay. 1 second. That's not your stuff, buddy. That's daddy's stuff. Okay. He knocked all of this stuff over. So let's just... And for those of you who don't know, this is a term that we use in the biz. It's called the Cone of Cleanliness. Doc has been mentioning it more and more because he just loves the term. But it's basically letting you know that everything that's within the cone of vision of the camera is basically what you need to keep clean. Let's not talk about what's over here on my desk. That's neither here nor there. So we will continue with that. But yes, Andre, that it's so cool to see you here. And yes, our family is growing. Our crew is expanding. And here we have Tech for Your Needs. How are you doing, sir? Welcome. Caleb's in the house saying hi, everyone. Hope you don't mind if I jump in here. Absolutely not. You're part of the crew, man. You're always welcome. Always, always welcome. Jim in the house. How are you doing, sir? It says, love the intro screen and music. Thank you. You know, I was talking to Kali from Chocolate Twist Yoga, and I told her that if you pay attention, the song is never really the same because it is my music that I'm constantly playing like on a loop. So it just so happens that whatever song is currently playing on my soundtrack when it's time to go live is what's going to be the intro music. So the fact that you like it just means that you kind of like one of the many songs that I use because it's constantly on rotation, constantly changing, and it just flows into what I do here, you know, with the live stream. It's always playing in the background, but it's controlled through the same audio mixer that I use for my microphone and everything like that. So for those of you who don't know the way that I do it, you know, including my sound effects, it's all being mixed in here and then put one connection out going into the computer so that it only has to, or Ecamm only has to source one sound effect. So everything that's being done is being done through me manually, kind of old school analog. That's the way that I prefer it. That way I'm able to just mute the music completely, take it off, and then you won't hear anything at all. Or I can keep it on in the background, slowly raise it up, or bring it back down to just that chill mode. So with that being said, I love the, you know, control that I get from the mixer, even though this mixer that I have is not ideal. But in the future, I will be looking into a Rodecaster Pro so that I can get more granular control over the audio mixing the way that I like it. Okay, and Paul's saying hi. Says, I see the new mic on deck. Yes, and I'm really liking the sound. I can't, you know, I really like the sound of the Samsung, the MTR 101. But the difference is that because this one is so much quieter, being a dynamic microphone, I do have to keep it closer, but I am able to bring back the noise gate so much comparative because like right now, Aiden is playing with music. There's a fan on and so many of the things that I would have to kind of deaden or not put into effect. So sometimes you would see me here on the stream just sweating because just so that that sound wouldn't come through the microphone, I would have fans off and everything like that. Now I'm able to keep a temperature controlled room and still have good audio, and Dynamic is designed for like live streaming. So once again, thanks to Sammy Superstar because this is an awesome gift and I'm going to use the hell out of it. It looks good and it sounds even better. So I can't front. It sounds really good. Okay, so everybody's saying hi to everyone, saying woohoo, Sammy. And look, I do think so too. Says it sounds nice, that mic. Look, there she is. How you doing, Kali? Yeah, the 1K party is around the corner. I think so. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. But I can't. I already feel like I already made it, so it's just an eventuality. But I want, like, it's all of you guys. Like, this Saturday night live stream, I can't tell you, it makes my week. Having all you guys come in here, just hang out, chill, drink some apple juice. Yes, apple juice. It's very delicious. So we don't get confused. It is in the Ecam pint, but it is apple juice. Very nutritious and delicious. And we have the chill vibes in the background. Paul saying hello. See? This is what I love. It says hi, Aiden. Hi to Aiden. Is the spelling correct? No, it's with the A. D-A-N. So, like A-I, Daniel. Hey, Daniel, right? Like Aiden. The funny thing is that I also joke because his middle name is Alexander. So, it's Aiden Alexander Vega. And when people were, asking me, I'm like, well, it's strategic as well because his initials are AA. And with that being that way, whenever he goes to do something, I go, hey. He can't say that I didn't call him by his name because I literally call him by his initials. Hey, stop that. So that's, it's always into play. He says he wants his piano mic'd. Yes, that's exactly what he wants. How you doing, Gary? Saying hello to everyone. This is Aiden in the house. All right, Art is here. How you doing, sir? Says, what's up, camera junkies? Sounds good so far. There's Sly. How are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. And like I had mentioned before, Aiden absolutely loves his gift, and you might hear it later because he plays with it. It says Aiden Alexander. Got it. Perfect. Just like that. Yep. A-I-D-A-N. Which is if I am correct, an Irish spelling of his name, which means the fiery one. Like fire, passion, like flame. But definitely fiery. My miracle man. Okay. We're to the end of the messages right now, the chat. And with that being said, I'm going to get into the story of my trip to People of Video Conference. All right, so let's go over here. Boom. Okay. First of all, I want to thank everyone who's ever donated to my Buy Me a Coffee page. You guys are incredible, and that's something that really helped me out throughout the entire trip. Well, how it started was that I was trying to get to the People of Video Conference, and I wasn't sure exactly how that was going to happen. The first thing that kind of opened up was a ticket being available to me, and Kali right here was the one that wasn't able to make it and started the transition of me getting myself to the People of Video Conference. The next thing that came about was Doc Rock, being the awesome person that he is, had the ability to give me like the board and like a place to stay because unfortunately his girlfriend wasn't able to make the trip. So now there was kind of like an extra space for me and Aiden to kind of crash. But the last piece of the puzzle was the transportation, and it being such like crunch time of what, how much little time was actually available to me. I really didn't know how I was going to make it available because I didn't have all of those things in line, being that Leap into Livestream was just kind of like the week before, and there was so many things on my plate, including being a single dad. Now, being a single dad is also how, like what I do is I fix iPhones during the day, and I provide a mobile service where I travel in my vehicle. that's another thing, because if I want to give props up to somebody, I have to give props to Aiden, because throughout the entire trip that I drove to Albany, New York, Aiden was the best kid imaginable. He was a trooper, and he just didn't complain and just allowed me to drive, and that's exactly what ended up happening. I drove over 3,000 miles in total, basically 1,500 miles up and 1,500 miles down, because the option that was laid out before me was to rent a vehicle and take the drive up from Miami to Albany, New York. Now, there could be a lot of people who stayed amazed on the fact that I did it, but like I had mentioned to everyone here, I believe a couple of weeks ago, when I was trying to figure this whole thing out, which was that there was nothing that was gonna stop me. And one of the things that came into mind that brought it kind of full circle for me was that 20 years prior, I took the drive similar with my older sister that passed away, and she she was getting a good job opportunity to work with the school board in the state of New York, and she needed help with taking care of her children, my nephew and two nieces. So me being the least to have anything that tied me down here to South Florida, and I really didn't have any responsibilities that was keeping me here, in a week's notice, I packed the suitcase and I drove to New York with my sister to help her with her children. And that was to give her the best opportunity that she could have. And in that same type of mentality is how I saw this trip to Albany that I had mentioned. I don't know what was waiting for me there, but I just knew that something big is going to happen, and I needed to put maximum effort in getting myself there. So with the help of this amazing community, I was able to then rent a vehicle, a nice little Toyota Corolla, and I was really surprised. On another note, that made me double check my game, my car game, and I need to step that up, because the car really was nice and it made the trip a lot easier. I rented the vehicle and I loaded it up as if it was my work vehicle almost, and got everything ready so that Aiden was completely catered to, and I had everything that I needed to make this road trip without with at least friction as possible. And the way that I also had it planned out was the fact that Aiden needs to be catered to, and his feeding schedule is very meticulous. So every 3 to 4 hours I had to make a mandatory stop. So because of it, I kind of designed that I was doing everything at these stops. So it was diaper change, fuel up, eat something if I wanted to, if not, grab something so that I can eat it on the way, and just constantly just keep everything topped off. And it really made all the difference. I was pleasantly surprised that I kind of did not inquire any traffic on the way up. I drove 1,024 miles straight from Miami all the way to Virginia on the first day. Now, the second day, that was a completely different story, for the simple reason that the state of Pennsylvania was having different plans. As soon as I left Virginia to Pennsylvania, that state was full with traffic. Travel distance in the state was roughly 250 miles, and time that it took me was 8.5 hours to travel that distance within that state. It was really tough, and because of it, I missed pretty much all the events that happened on Thursday, which was, I was trying to get there kind of midday. My scheduled plan was to have made it there by 2:00 p.m. But I ended up making it to the location, or to the hotel, the Desmond in Albany, 8 p.m. On let me make sure that I'm getting the days right, because it was all a blur. The first day, I believe, was Friday. So yes, it was Friday night that I got there at 8 o'clock. I missed the day before, which was kind of like a networking day. But the first day of like speeches and everything was Friday. That's the one that I totally missed. I wasn't able to make, but I was able to just meet up with Doc Rock and pretty much the Ecamm fam and the LGL, like everyone that was participating in that Ecamm meetup. Ecamm meetup at 8 p.m. That was like finishing off the Friday night's activities, and that's where everything started for me. So it was super cool to have gotten to meet so many amazing people, and I have some photos that I'm gonna share, but the first thing that I did, the first short photo that I'm gonna share, let me get on here. Okay, this was my live streaming setup when I was checking in at my first hotel stop. This was at a Days Inn hotel in Virginia. That's my A6100 overhead with the cam link directly into my MacBook Pro. And then I was using my Zoom H5 handy recorder. As you can see, I don't know if you can see on the back end through the mirror, but the tripod that I'm using on the camera is an articulating arm, and so is this clip that's actually holding the microphone up. It was surprisingly easy to set up because everything was pre-done with Ecamm. So that was really cool. And then the next photo is actually the meetup here that we had, and this was, Doc Rock heading the table. You had Rob, Kathy, Gigi, Miss D, so many, like Miles. There was so many great people here, and this was me just getting to the location. This was the Ecamm meetup, and it was held right in a restaurant, right part of the Desmond Hotel. So it was really convenient that as soon as you get there, I was able to just like waste no more time, so to speak, and just get right into it. And that's where I started my experience here at the Desmond. Let me go ahead and check back with the chat to see how we're doing here. Okay. Scott Rogers here saying, happy Saturday. How are you doing? Tom Buck in the house. It says, now you know what to do if you go next time. Well, that's another thing. Gigi already said next time that I'm coming, I have to bring Aiden. That's first of all, because he stole the show. And second was that she said that she had like plenty of points on her plane, that she said that she'll just book a ticket for me and Aiden so that we don't have to drive, which is so generous of her. But that's all part of this like amazing community, and the relationships that were established at this conference is just awesome. Tom says, a lot of things happen in hotel rooms, but I'm not going to assume no one would guess audio recorder mounted to a tissue holder. Right? But hey, you know what, Tom? That's another thing about being creatives, right? Because we're constantly talking about like the creator economy and people who want to be creators. I think part of being a creator is being creative, right? Is like movie magic. When it comes to like making movies, I always remembered it was problem solving. Like, hey, we're trying to retrieve this result, so what are we gonna do to make it happen? And everything that's behind the scenes is part of that movie magic. So nobody would have, when all you see is this of the microphone, nobody knows exactly what's holding it. And it was convenient, and exactly like nobody would have ever thought that an audio recorder would be mounted to a tissue holder. So it's pretty kinky, Tom. Okay, so getting back to it, right? So now that I get there, I have the pleasure to actually spend a lot of time as the first night with Doc Rock and Diana Gladney, and I really, it's it almost felt like it was family, and with all the time that was spent, hanging out with Doc Rock and live streams and communications, helping him, helping each other, with video editing, with like the Let's Get Live community, with helping me understand better the moderator role for Ecamm in the Facebook groups, and a lot of things that it was just. He actually talks about it more with Miss Diana Gladney, that when they actually got, well, like for example, when I got to the event, right? I get there and it's like, hey, and everybody's like saying hi. So of course, I'm there saying hello and greeting everyone as soon as I walk in, because everyone had been there already. But in Doc's words, he actually mentioned that when he met up with Diana for the first time, they basically didn't even like say hi to each other, give each other a big hug, because they were already so well versed. So they just got into it, talking about like the things that they were trying to accomplish and how they were setting up for the conference and for their speeches, everything that was like required, that they totally just like bypassed the, hey, this is actually the first time that we're in the same room physically. So it's pretty strange, but it just goes to show you like that kinship that has been built throughout these like the last year, that it just feels like at home. It just feels like family and just falls right into place. So it was really cool that I was able to partake in that and also be part of it, to just be like accepted, as I always say, like with these open arms, and to just be able to just fall right into line. And right away, it was just so much fun. I can't tell you all the jokes that we just cracked on each other for like a couple of days straight, and it was awesome. Like I say, I got to do like that Sony camera camp, but with Doc Rock, you understand? And we just hung out in a hotel room as we like learned from each other and learned from so many other great creators, because that's just the personal side of what was happening. And that was just my first night. That goes nothing into the first day of event and people speaking, and so many amazing people that were giving just incredible information. I had the pleasure of meeting Roberto Blake and Roger Wakefield. Because I missed the first day's event, I missed Owen video and his talk, but mostly I missed actually getting to meet him as well, because he was only there for the first day. There were some other people that I was hoping to meet there that just weren't able to make it at all. One of them being Professor Naz, another one Brian G. Johnson. And like, even though like not everyone that I wanted to meet was even able to make it, I was just super ecstatic that I was able to make it. And I was able to meet like Dan Courier from Creator Fundamentals. He's the one who hosted the entire event. Him and his lovely wife and family, just amazing people. I can just like, I'm still off of the like electricity and the energy that was shared, like the energy that was exchanged in that conference, because it was so amazing. Now, it was my first conference of this sort, as a creator, as a YouTuber, as a video editor, photographer. I had done other conferences, similar to this from my upbringing, whether it be church or business. But there was something special about this conference as well. And the coolest part was the way that, the coolest part to me was the way that the Ecamm and the LGL really represented, because there was a big chunk of the people who were there that was part of this community directly. And man, like, I got to meet Rob. Rob is such an amazing dude. It really, his story with his son is very similar to mine with Aiden, and that's rare when you're talking about, special education children, special needs children, that each story is like so individual. And the fact that our stories were very similar, from like the premature birth at the same exact time, even similar weights, it was just really interesting. But besides that, to be able to meet that man who is amazing in his own right, it was super cool. Because Rob is like, and I love his banter, because if you know, you know. So that was still all within the first night. I got to meet Katie from eCam. So many people. And let's just see. What's the next photo here? Oh, okay, look. Let's check this photo out here. Boom. All right, that was the second day. That was the first day of like talks, and that's when I got to meet Sammy Superstar. As you can see, he's a lot taller than I thought. I thought he was just gonna be a little bit under, but the simple fact that he was a little bit taller than me was a little bit surprising. But super cool, and just another amazing person. Super glad that I was able to meet him. This is when I took a selfie with Roberto Blake. That was just outside of my hotel room. I wish I would have gotten more time to speak with him, but he had an extremely busy schedule, and it was still personal. Like, there weren't a lot of people within the conference itself, but still there was so much to share, so much information to gain, so many people that you could just not possibly get to everything. And then this is just kind of like part of the selfie crew there. That's Rob, that's Gigi, myself, and that's Katie from eCam, and Kathy, also K-Wall Comedy. She's part of the LGL. That's Fulgence Henry from Building Blocks and ENN News. You can see that on the eCam networks. Also, another amazing individual, super cool, man. We're calling him now Fulgence Vandross, because he's got a little, Luther in him. Oh, what happened here? Oh, I think I hit something on the stream deck, so let's bring this back. And that's Anna from Ana Hill. She's part of also the ENN and the Building Blocks. That's Mr. Miles. Super cool to meet Miles. We were able to, I know Miles from also the LGL and Doc Rock's Drop Squad class that he holds on Saturdays. So it was super cool. He was a local person. He helped us out a lot. This is Pete. I met him also. I forgot his channel name right now. I know we spoke about it, but he was somebody that I met there. Cool guy, but like I said, I missed the networking part of it where we were supposed to meet, because that happened the first day. So I was trying to do my own type of networking. This is Mo. He's also the other half of Miles's podcast that they take care of. This is Carmen. She's just awesome. She's an inspiration. She's one that was that also made it there. Like a valiant effort, and just so glad that I was able to meet her. Just awesome. That's Miss Diana Gladney, for those of you who don't know. Miss D, also just Miss D. Like, on a side note, she like hooked me up so cool. Like, she was someone who wouldn't even let you like put yourself like in a negative situation. Like, she had your back more than you had your back. So somebody was asking me about my video editing availability. And while somebody was asking me that, I was gonna give them like my just traditional answer for video editing, and Miss D did not let me. She was like, "Oh, he's gonna set up a meeting and get back to you so that we could better understand your needs." And I just stood back and I was like, "Thank you for like not allowing me to undersell myself," which is just amazing. And that's all part of this community and how everyone here takes care of themselves or each other. This is Jeff, I believe. I hope I got his name right. But he's also super cool guy that I was able to meet there. And this is Dan. He's Dan Career, Creator Fundamentals. And I spoke to Keely because Keely was we were talking about this, and I told her that when I met Dan, I was going to ask him who he had planned to speak at this event next year and why was it me. And she was like, yes. So believe it or not, I did that with Dan, and he was super cool. We just laughed about it, but then he really got into it. He's like, and he gave me the entire breakdown of what they do to choose the speakers for next year. So depending on exactly what happens, because I never put a label on anything so that anything could happen. Let's see what happens, but it's something that's already out there. And it was super cool that I got to meet Dan anyways, because he's also another amazing creator, knows a lot about the Amazon, and learned a lot about that I'm still just waiting for that 1,000 subscriber mark to see if that's the only thing that's stopping me from being in that Amazon live space, because that's something that I really want to get to. Okay. Man, I'm forgetting the name of this guy. Exploits, and I can't remember the name right now. I'm just so giddy about it. But also another creator, part of the Niminati. I was super glad that I was able to meet him, and I'm just having such a brain fart on his name. And then this guy, this is Dale Roberts. He's White Chocolate Milk Dud. That was the nickname that he was given at the conference. If you want to know, you had to have been there. But White Chocolate Milk Dud, an author and a self-publisher, awesome MC, but also an awesome creator who gave a lot of great information and a lot of great. He gave away basically the package that he would provide, a $700 package to every person who was available to be at the conference. Excuse me. Now, the reason why I bring that up, because that was something that he wasn't planning on doing at all. It happened to be that he felt that he was so moved and inspired by my efforts to drive 3,000 plus miles to go to Albany to experience this event, that he was like, there's no way that I cannot reward this person, being me, but also every other individual who was at the conference. So with that, he made a special like promo code thing that he made his course available to the people who were able to make it there for free. A course that he charges $700 for, because of the efforts, just kind of like as a reward. And I can't thank this man enough, because it's also something that I've been looking to do myself. So he's a self-publisher, so I'm also looking into making a book about the photography basics, something that I was looking into doing myself prior to going to the People of Video conference. So that's one of the many things that happened that I was like, I don't know what's happening, but something's happening. And the other thing is that there was just so many connections that were solidified in person. Like I mentioned before, there was no way that I was gonna let Doc Rock fly all the way from Hawaii and me not be able to shake this man's hand. So with that being said, with all the talks, with meeting so many amazing people, hanging out, learning so much, Gigi, one that I had showed before, she was the local right here, Gigi to the right. She was an amazing host. She orchestrated so many of like the little details when it came to just restaurant choices and things like that, of things that we were just going to probably spend a lot more time that was necessary. And she just orchestrated and was able to direct us through her town, and it made all the world of a difference. On top of her being amazing herself, she just took it upon herself, and she did not allow like anything to go off with a hitch. She was like just so on it. She's a lawyer, so it was just like part of her character, and it was just amazing. But she's awesome, and she had this amazing little dog, Ivy Rose. Adorable. So just I'm super glad that I was able to meet her, and she's also the one that I said that she just fell in love with Aiden as well, and was like, you know what, there's no way that you guys will take another drive next year. Just let me know, and I got you on some flight points. So we'll see exactly how that works out. But for those of you who are interested, what Dan is having available right now is that he's actually taking pre-orders at a discounted rate for next year's People of Video conference. And if you buy the ticket, I believe at $200 now, then you're not only are you like saving your seat, but you actually have the ability to like help like guide this conference, because they will know how to better make the conference by knowing who's actually going to be available to show up. And if you want to know, absolutely, I will be there next year, both Aiden and I. Definitely, nothing's gonna stop us. Excuse me. Okay. All right, so let's get back to this. Now, there are some other things that are in the works. You know, there was some connections that were made, and some things that still need to be talked about and hashed out, which are very exciting for me, for this channel, for my future, for everything that is CameraJunkie and CameraJunkie Crew. So, you know, I'd rather just let things naturally unfold and kind of like just enjoy them as they happen. Like I said, not putting a limit or a label on anything, allowing it to be anything. So with that being said, there's potential for a lot of great things in the future, and I know that more than anything was just solidifying relationships that had been just started and now established by going to this conference. This was such an amazing experience. I wouldn't change anything at all. And more than anything, like, just super cool. I got to meet Roger Wakefield, Roberto Blake, just like so many people that I've already been in contact within this space, and it's all because of the community that has been established here on the weekends. So more than anything, I want to thank every single one of you who's hanging out with me here tonight, because one way or another, you are what made this all possible, and that is the truth, you know. Yeah, so thank you. Where we go from here, we'll see, but I know that you'll be here for the ride, right? Because we're gonna find out. So let's get back to the chat. Okay, let's see where we're at. All right, Mark Sequence is in the house. Say yo, C Junk, how you doing, sir? Okay, let's see. All right, Todd is here saying hello, Christmas Clatter. Miles Beacom, right? I believe that's how you say it, correct? He is one of the people that was in the pictures. Yeah, this is Miles, for those of you who don't know. Let's see, and let's bring it back. And that is Miles right there. I was able to meet that man. Super cool. And we just got off of like Doc Rock's class, so you know, he's pretty much everywhere right now. So all right, it says my man told me my gimbal was broken like he was my brother. Love this. That was true. He was trying to work a broken gimbal, and I looked at it for like 5 or more like 10 minutes, really figured it out, and I was like, yeah, this thing is broken and it's not worth it. I hope you moved on from it. You know, sometimes it hurts, but if it is broken, it is what it is. You know, I got a really good deal on a gimbal. Had it like on top over here for like weeks on end. Went to use it, used it a couple of times, and the shots that I wanted to get out of it, I much easier got them handheld. And with a little bit of post stabilization, you couldn't tell the difference between the gimbal. That I was like, don't need it. You know, it's just another piece of gear that's going to take electricity and space in my bag. So not that it's not great for a lot of things, but I'm not shooting a car commercial while I'm riding 45 miles an hour, you know, off the side of a car. If I am going to do that, I still have the ability to rent one. So that's where I stayed off, and I'm like, because I'm not doing that now, I sold my gimbal. Even though I got a good deal, I sold it for what I got it for, and didn't make any profit off of it. Just got my money back, which I was lucky to do so. He's saying LGL fam, absolutely. There's Sammy. How you doing, sir? How do you think I sound? Because I'm really liking the sound of the pod mic. Melanie's here. How you doing? Saying hi to everyone. Says sorry I'm late. I just did something so great. What did you do, sir? He's saying, oh snap. Says you're rocking the pod mic. Yes, I am. Miles saying he's so inspired. And Sammy saying he hopes everyone is well. Mario Crespi is in the house. How are you doing, sir? Are you in South Florida or are you in Colombia? That would be like good to know. But a pleasure to have you here as always. Thanks to you for stopping by. Says Dan is great. Yes, he is, and he was super cool. Just the fact that like Sammy was like late to the conference on that day and needed to register, I was still able to be in communication with Sammy, and then just let Dan know that he was on his way. He set everything up so that when he met up with Sammy, you know, like he kind of didn't miss the registration regardless. But it's just cool people just going, you know, above and beyond. Hey, how you doing, Robert? Saying, hey, Louis, good to see you. Good to see you, man. I'm glad that you stopped by. I saw one of your live streams, I believe, but it's sporadic when I get the messages for it. But it was super cool to have caught that one live. Sammy says people of video was great. I think so, and I know that it's only gonna get bigger and better. You know, there was a lot of people who were saying it because even right now, there's another conference going on, the Media Market World, something like that, something of that gist. I really don't know the exact name, but apparently that's something that was held more into the summer. That even though right now it's October and it's being held, the next one that's going to be held is like March or April. What I really think is that how everything was locked down for so long, there's a lot of events that all just got crammed into October because it was kind of like when the floodgates were opened again. So we'll see exactly how it works out for like the following years and for following events. Sammy says, where's the photo of me and you? I already had put that one. That was actually the first one, Sammy. But let me go back to it. Show you. See? Boom. If you watch the replay, Sammy, you'll see that you were the first one that I mentioned because of the pod mic, first off, and, you know, meeting you at People of Video. You're one of the first pictures as well. I wasn't able to pull off the picture that I took with Doc Rock because that was like me switching cameras. So these were mostly the photos that I had just on my phone. Actually, no. Let's go there. It says you're almost at 1K. Yep, almost. But to me, honestly, it's like we've already gotten there. You know, it's just an eventuality. I don't know exactly how the YouTube system's working out, but I can definitely tell you I've noticed some differences. I just got now the ability for the community tab. I still learning how to use it. Should have it down by next week. Okay, so Mario's back in town saying hello from Miami. What was it? I watched it on Facebook. Sammy saying wow. Saying thanks. No, absolutely. Thank you, man. Thanks for hanging out. It was awesome that you were able to experience this meeting. What a blast. Seeing the pictures and the smile on your face. Man, it was super cool. I can't. And like chilling with Doc Rock and seeing that the same dude that we've been like watching on Saturdays is the same dude that was in the hotel room. Pretty much that about everyone. It was so cool. I think that was the best part of the experiences because you know, you just always like you feel like, hey, this person is being genuine. This is how they are, and this is how they would be if I met them in person, and that's how it was. I think everyone that, you know, part of it that was able to be there felt the same way. It was just like, hey, yes, I know you, and now I get to really say that I know you because I got to meet you in a physical, actual space. And it makes, you know, to put it in a nutshell, I was able to miss all said individuals once I left their presence. And that's how impacting it was. You know, every person that I was able to meet, have a conversation with. One of the coolest experiences there was Twana Harris. So, shout out to Twana Harris. Check this story out. I think I said it last week. We just sat down, had a conversation for half an hour. I was helping her out with, you know, her own like with her own like trying to level up, you know, trying to upgrade her skills and trying to get better at video editing. And she was just telling me a little bit of the struggles that she had, and I was trying to help her in the best way that I could. So with that being said, after like a half an hour conversation, she was like, you know what, you're really nice, what's your channel? I would love to check you out. And I told her my channel is MrCameraJunkie, and she just had like one of those double takes. She was like, what? I'm already subscribed to your channel. Like I've been talking to you for this whole time, and I had no idea that I was talking to MrCameraJunkie. It was so surreal. It was so much fun. But that was just one of the many experiences that was super super cool. Someone that I met there for the first time, never heard of before, was Judy Fox. She's kind of like what's this application? A LinkedIn expert. She kind of like melted my brain. So I'm going to be definitely putting in some work into LinkedIn this following week because she definitely put everyone on their booty. Like, but there are replays available somewhere. I need to look for them myself because there was so many great talks that I also missed that I need to catch the replay of myself. Excuse me. Hydrate. Really good apple juice. Okay. Caleb says, does anyone here know how to access spreadsheet in the LGL Facebook group? Not me. I wish I could help, but I'm not even sure exactly what that is. But yes, absolutely. Now I wanted to share that with you, right? I wanted to share that amazing experience. Driving back down was also really cool because something that happened at LGL. Listen, at LGL, at People of Video. Um, Overnight Sunday was part of my own personal difficulties on so many different levels, going far back months, even like the last year. And it was unfortunate that even though I was experiencing such an amazing event and getting to meet so many amazing people that I admire, at 6:30 a.m. Sunday, I received the unfortunate call that my brother, Gadiel Vega, passed away. I want to share this with everyone because my one and only brother did not punch his ticket to the Wake Up Club. Came Sunday, October the 10th. I was in New York trying to make the most of an amazing experience. But at the same time, my own life could be a roller coaster going out of control. Now, this is one of the crazy things that he was already in the hospital. And there was nothing that I can do, whether I was sitting here at home or in Albany, New York. And even though he was in my prayers and I was doing everything that I could, I was thinking about the future and the best for my son, Aiden. I have to say that I want to thank every person that I met there in Albany because they helped me keep a lot of things together. They allowed me to see the community and what's possible beyond the tragic parts of our lives. I mostly feel for my father that within the last 4 years has lost his first 2 children and his wife. I spoke to him on Sunday and let him know that I was on my way. I finished up and thanked a lot of people at the conference. But one thing that made it a little bit easier was the fact that I wasn't here locally where I live. The fact that I had just new surroundings, new people, was an added bonus or distraction from the harshness of life. And it's unfortunate. He will be missed. and made the trip back down to Florida a little bit more difficult than just the drive itself. As I got closer and closer to home base, it was just sinking in that much more. And I got in the early mornings of Wednesday, like Wednesday morning, 2 a.m., to be at his viewing at 10 a.m. in the morning. My brother I'll miss you, G. I wish more could have been done. With that being said, I don't want this to be a negative, because even though this is a sad situation for myself and my family, it's just, it doesn't take away from all the positives that were also accomplished at the same time. My happiness is not based on the tragedies of my life. So even though this was an extremely tough loss, every time my son smiles, every time he laughs, my heart gets filled with joy. And whenever I get to spend time with every single one of you who's here, the CameraJunkie crew, that fills me with joy. You guys are my family that allows me to hang out and be within family, an amazing community. And like I've mentioned before, this is where I would want to be. This is my happy place. So, like I said before, I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to experience such an amazing conference. And I don't want that to be taken away, not even in the slightest, because it was a tragic loss of my brother. Just so that you know, he was diabetic. And it's real. And he didn't really take care of himself. He didn't. "44 years old. Gone too soon. And like I said, he will be missed. But just like 4 years ago when I lost my sister, right, 3 years ago, 4, yeah. Then my grandmother, last year my mother, and now my brother. it just lets me know that tomorrow is not guaranteed. That's why you got to make the most of today. You can plan for a lot of things, but you never know what life's going to throw at you. So just be ready for change, because change is the only constant. I'm not going to leave the live stream like this, because this is not, even though it's unfortunate, like I said, it's not a point of saying that, hey, life sucks. There's a lot of negativity and a lot of bad things that happen to just everyone. There's no easy ride for anyone, right? And life is one hell of a ride, and nobody gets out alive. But the ones who are left behind, the ones who are still here, we're the ones who feel the pain. We're the ones who feel the loss of a family member, but what it just does to me is that it inspires me to live my life at the fullest, at the most. And that's what I hope it does for you. It's not to be like melancholy. It is to enjoy the time that we have and make the most of it. And it was before my brother's passing, with my mother's passing and my sister's passing, that really made that visible to me. So even though, yes, I lost my brother and it's unfortunate, it only reiterates the same feeling that I had before, which is make the most of the time that you have. So now to some apple juice and to the chat. Let's get back to it. Okay, Mr. Riley, how are you doing, sir? He's saying, "What's up, MCJ?" He said, "Man, I put some miles on the road trip." Yes, I did. I think that's a hug. Not sure. He's saying sorry for your loss. Saying sorry for my loss. Thank you, guys. The thing is that I had did the live stream last Saturday, and he passed like 2 hours after I closed the live stream, like 2 a.m. Sunday morning, and I got the call at 6:30 a.m. It is unfortunate, but I think it was more of a shock to everyone else, right? When you're on the inside and you know exactly what's going on, he was already in the hospital. We were hoping for the best. He didn't make it. Like I said, it's unfortunate, but it's just I'd rather live my life to the fullest in honor of him and the rest of my family. Make the most of every day. Carpe diem. Right? Seize the day. Charles says, "Good evening, guys. Just got home. Prayers for you all." Thank you, sir. If anything, I would say more than anything, pray for my dad. I really don't think that my father was ever planning to outlast, 2 of the 4 children that he had. me being a father myself, I think that's what gets to me the most, you know? That I would do anything for Aiden, right? You guys know that. Just anything were to happen to that little boy. And to know that my father's going through something like that kills me. That's why it's also been a tough week for me, because I've also been trying to do the most that I can for my father. And tomorrow being Sunday means Sunday dinner with my father. So it's a weekly thing. And I really can't wait to have dinner with him tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. Charles is saying hello to me. Randall says Lewis's brother passed away last Sunday. Yes. The wake was the viewing in the wake was Wednesday. That was like also, it was just a whirlwind, because once I left the conference on Sunday, I started driving. Well, I started driving on Monday back down, and it was just like 2 days of straight driving to then get right into the viewing, into the funeral procedures. It was just one whirlwind of a week. But that's also, you know, part of what's been tough on my personal life, because like I said, prior to his passing, he had already been in the hospital. So once he was in the hospital, it was already tough on all of us, you know. My dad was already taking it tough when he landed there, and he first started having the complications. Yeah. Paul says, yes, that was a hug. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Praying for you, Lewis, and your family. Thank you, thank you. I did want to take that time to show love for my brother. He will be missed. But I kind of don't want to leave it like that either, you know? I don't want to leave it like on a somber mood, because this is the way that I explain it. Hopefully it comes across correctly. The way, like, what we decide to focus our minds on, whether being positive or negative, is what our eventual outcome would be. So, for example, the way that I always explain it is like my used car, like, methodology. Like, we've probably all purchased a used car in our lifetime, and as soon as we purchase this car and we own it, we start seeing it on the road everywhere. And we're like, oh my God, there it is, and there it is, and the same exact color. Everybody has my car. I must have made a great decision. Now, the reason why this happens is because our minds are confirmation or bias machines. So what actually ends up happening is that as soon as you purchase said used vehicle, whichever it is, now you have programmed your mind to recognize that vehicle. You know it a little bit more than just the average vehicle that's on the road. The vehicle had always been there, but now you know what it looks like because it's parked in front of your house. You know every shape and line, contour of that vehicle, inside and out. You know how the steering wheel feels, what the inside, so that if you were looking for it in a parking lot, at the mall, you'd be able to spot it out because you know your vehicle. And now that you have that programming within your mind, as you're driving in said vehicle down the road, your mind is only confirming what you have already programmed it with. And now that you're seeing it everywhere, and you're like, there's my car, and there's my car, and look, it's all even in the same color, because the vehicle, like I said, had always been there, but now your mind is programmed to pick it out of the crowd because you know the ins and outs. So if you decide, because it's all your decision, to program your mind with said 6 o'clock news that's full of negative things, and everything that they shoot out at you during the 60 minutes or 30 minutes broadcast that you're there is negative, 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 then you're programming your said mind to only respond to the negative. So when you go out into the world, into reality, your mind only can confirm the biases or the programming that you gave it. So with that being said, I have always chosen, especially one of the things that Aiden has taught me in this short time, is to always think positive and stay positive. You know, Aiden is affected even by the vibration of negativity. So if I'm doing something here with a phone repair and Aiden is hanging out there playing with his toys, if I get upset, if my mood changes and my vibration changes, I don't have to say a word. Aiden picks up on that like a tuning fork, and then he starts getting upset and even crying, making me realize that my energy is so linked and tied to this little man that he does not allow me to stay in a negative space, because it that much affects him. So I make sure that I'm constantly like over positive. And with that being said, I constantly reaffirm the beauty, the incredibleness of this life and everything that's positive about it, being this entire community here, you know, and this community, the camera junkies, all of you guys, all of the energy that you guys give me, all the prayers and the positivity. Like, I can't emphasize enough how that means the world to me, because that's the reason why I'm still able to keep a smile on my face. You guys allow me to see that no matter what negativity is out there, and it's inevitable, right? Because it's something that's eventually gonna happen. I can still focus on the positives. I can still focus on the greatness of all of you and the beauty of life itself and everything that is good. Like that little guy down there, you know? He's my mission. He's the reason why I do what I do. And he shows me every day the beauty of life. So hopefully that's the message that came across here tonight. I'm gonna check the chat to see how you guys are doing. We might be ending it a little early today, right? Just depends. See if you guys have any questions or have anything else to say. Okay, Kelly's here saying hello, Mr. Camera Junkie, popping in to say hi. How you doing? And Caleb is saying, we're happy to pray for you, friend. You're part of the community. I appreciate it. That's why I said I appreciate every single one of you. You guys are amazing. You guys make this the space that I want to be at all the time, right? To just always be hanging out, having fun, chilling. Because, like, with that being said, my brother did pass away, but I gained another brother in Doc Rock and in Miles and in Rob and in Sammy and in so many other said individuals that I was able to like break bread with, hang out, you know, and really solidify like relationships that are gonna stand the test of time. So I am forever grateful, more than you know, for the ability to have done that, and also for the ability to do this live stream weekly, where I'm able to share a little bit of myself with all of you. Oh, look who's popping in. Is it, would you buy a Z6 II or an A7C? Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a good question, but I'm just gonna say hi to Miss Sylvia Nixon. How are you doing? Sylvia, thank you as well. I want to say thank you now, cordially here on the live stream. Sylvia was talking with me throughout my drive from to New York and from New York. She was privy of what happened with my brother. But I also just want to thank you for allowing me to speak my mind with you and allowing me to let out a lot of the feelings that I had. So thank you for being that listening ear. You and your husband are amazing. Say hi to Andrew for me, please. You guys are awesome. And for those of you who don't know, she is the better half of the present. So tell Andrew I said that. But yes, they're the ones who handle all of the Camera Junkie merchandise. And, now that, Sylvia, just so you know, now that things are starting to settle down in this following week, I should have the latest designs up for you guys so that we can get things rolling on the new parts of the merchandise. So that's good stuff coming. Hey, Doc Rock is here. Like Doc Rock, man. What can I say? You know what? You're the only one that I didn't have a picture of today, sir, because you're on the other camera. You're on that memory card over here, and I wasn't able to get it. You know what? Let's see if we can get one. Well, I don't know. Maybe next week or on Instagram. If those of you who don't follow me, I'm gonna be posting like all the pictures of said people of video conference throughout the week. It says the fam is here to support you and provide a shoulder when needed. Thank you. And that's what I'm saying. That's what you guys do weekly. This is just awesome that you guys are amazing. So he says, I love you, friend. Love you guys too, man. You guys are awesome. You guys so special to me. It says friends are the family you choose. Absolutely. And that does say a lot, because I would have never expected, but the fact that Doc Rock, man, that's my boy. Oh man, just I've told him already. It's like it's crazy. It hasn't even been a week, but it's like, duh, man. Like I miss hanging out with Doc Rock already. Like that's how awesome this entire experience is. Saying hi to Doc and Sylvia. Now everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. The way better. Okay, so we know how we feel about that. All right. Everybody's saying hello. Look at that. Way more better. Doc is awesome. And Doc had such an amazing talk. We did have it was like an underground saying for the conference, which is, I could stream a little early. I could stream a little late. It's a straight inside joke of like a speech that Miss Diana Gladney gave to her supervisors in her previous employment. And it's such an amazing story. It's so cool that we all fell in love with it, and it just kept reverberating throughout the conference. And it even made it into Doc Rock's speech on the last day. It was really cool. But he also stole the show with just Doc being Doc, So, he's able to provide insight in an amazing speaking event, but also improvise on the spot. Is just he's an amazing talent, but also an amazing creator and super cool dude. That's right. That should be on a shirt. Doc Rock, super cool dude. Look at this pop rock. It says, my bones hurt so much I need a sauna or a jacuzzi. Sammy is cool. Says, I need a jacuzzi session. Too good idea. Yeah, not bad. But says, how about starting a live stream while in a jacuzzi? Bro, that's stuff that you'll find on Twitch. You'll find that on Twitch. This is the Camera Junkie live stream. I'm not gonna be doing nothing like that here. And I don't think Doc Rock will be interested either. But I think that's going to be it for today. That is pretty much my experience with the people of video. This was just an amazing conference. I learned so much that I'm still processing a lot of what's going on. As well, like another thing was like this week was so crazy hectic for me because I literally spent an entire week in New York telling everyone that I couldn't do a repair till Wednesday, and then when I came back I still couldn't do it because of said events. So I've just been spending like the last couple of days just trying to catch back on all this like past work. I think that's it. I'm gonna call it for tonight. I'm gonna get some extra rest and try to sleep in because it's something that I have yet to do since I got back from New York. Just been crazy busy. But I want to thank every single one of you, as always, for hanging out here at Club Camera Junkie. As always, take care of yourselves. Be good to each other because we will need to see you here next week as we do it all over again at the same time, same place, 10:55 p.m. starting at 11 Eastern here at Club Camera Junkie. And like I said before, if you're not part of the crew and you want to be part of the crew, make sure you subscribe, like, leave your name, and make yourself known here within the community, whether it's in the chat or a comment in the video. That way you can get the nice Camera Junkie Crew welcome. It's a family here, so it's always welcome. And as always, thank you for your time. Thank you for hanging out and spending this time, your most precious commodity, with me, Mr. Camera Junkie. And let you know, once again, thank you for being here for me and being one of the most special parts of my week, every week here on the Camera Junkie live stream. Thank you. Love you guys. And I will see you all next week. Have a good one.